Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up. But first, as always, let's take a look at our weather here on this Monday morning. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. Pretty comfortable, high 86, low 64. Water temperature at the end of the pier is like it dropped 2 degrees last week. It's at 82 degrees and a steady drop, and we're going to really start seeing some activity here in our surf fishing, and we'll talk about it later on this week. Some really good things going on. Take a look at our Monday moon phase, brought to us by the folks down at Panama City, Coca-Cola. Thursday night will be the full moon of October. I've used some really good moon, strong moon right now, but Thursday night will be the full moon. It's going to be a great time to go freshwater fishing the next couple of days, and then a weekend will be some great freshwater fishing. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good tide today, and our high tide is 8:23 this morning, and it's going out to about 4:41 this afternoon, and the wind will be coming out of the east-southeast at about 5. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, and look who's back on Panhandle Outdoors, Officer Travis Bashford.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Here's the situation. Chris Bowley's been coming on, but he's been deployed.
Correct.
And you're standing in for him, and you had to work it in your schedule, and we've been shuffling around, so we're just glad to have you. And everything been going well?
Yes, sir. Glad to be here. Good to be back on the show. And yeah, Chris is doing a great job. He's down deployed for Hurricane Milton response right now.
Okay, so we're going to talk about deployment this segment right here, about how they get deployed. I know Nicole just got deployed to South Florida, your wife.
Yes, sir.
Have you been like Mr. Mom and Dad? And
yeah, doing a little bit of everything with work and the kids' school, ball. And but yeah, so interestingly enough, she's down there as well. We've got over 40 officers just from the Northwest region that have deployed down to Southwest Florida to help out with the Hurricane Milton response. Yeah. And really, it's been a rough 2 or 3 weeks for Florida with Helene coming through the Big Bend, affecting Keaton Beach, Perry, Madison, and now down in the Tampa, Sarasota area with Milton.
And but we sent some folks up to the mountains too on Helene, right? These pictures here.
We did.
Look at these pictures set up. How long does the deployment last normally?
So normally, and they can vary depending on the damage and specific needs for each natural disaster, but usually they're 7 to 10 days. And we do have some photos here. You know, after Helene hit, we sent a lot of FWC officers and assets to the Big Bend area, and that's where most of our assets stayed. However, I'm sure a lot of you are aware that on social media and in the news, the Carolinas were hit pretty bad, North Carolina in particular. Yes. So helping out their resource commission up there.
Here's a great picture of the guy. I mean, you can see that when I saw these fallen trees, it reminded me so much of Michael. Yeah. All of our trees, all of our big old trees. And look how they just snapped off up alongside the mountain. And here's our guys and girls walking up there.
They did, and they were trying to get aid into some of these hard-hit areas. Actually had to hike in and do some welfare checks. There was a lot of flooding and some, as you see, some wind damage up there as well. But you know, there were some homes that were completely washed away, and then you've got roads that once they and there's one of our officers there from Bay County, Christian Jarrell. Also want to recognize Keelan Alsabrooks from Bay County went up there. They spent about a week helping out those folks and getting aid to some of these hard-hit areas.
And they couldn't get to them other than a helicopter, right?
Right, yeah, they were having to hike in helicopters and drones to get to some of these areas in that mountainous terrain.
I love this picture here, but this just don't speak volumes. Here they are. They brought this family obviously up there in the center. They're obviously isolated, and here our officers have brought us supplies and all.
Yeah, they did an outstanding job up there, and super proud of them. Again, we left a lot of assets in Florida, but when North Carolina needs some help, we sent some up there as well. And really, we've got people all over right now. You know, I've told you before, we've got people in Texas helping out with the border response there. We've recalled our our assets from North Carolina, and now they're in Florida, all of them helping down there with Hurricane Milton in Southwest. So just another thing we do, mutual aid, disaster response, and because FWC officers are specifically trained and we have this equipment, we're able to get in some of these areas. Like right now, I know this morning some of our guys were going out on airboats. We've got swamp buggies, UTVs, salad draft vessels to get.
Well, that's the thing about it. Y'all can operate these airboats and the ATVs, and it's part of your job. So they really deploy y'all right on the front line.
Exactly, and really a lot of it is too, like we work standalone and with the local PDs and Sheriff's Office down there. I know like Nicole and her crew, they were down with Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office last night, and just helping them with calls, because the calls for service after a natural disaster, you can imagine, not only for law enforcement but for fire and EMS is through the roof. So
a lot of search and rescue. It
is, and then there'll be, you know, roads and trying to get, you know, there's a lot of barrier islands down there that it's hard to get to. So want to make sure everyone's okay. I know a lot of people evacuated, but a lot of people stayed. So they're doing a great job. They will be down there, you know, over the next week or two, and we'll probably have other teams come in after them to assist those folks down there. And just want to say our thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected by Helene and Milton. They were both very bad
These were
storms.
such two remarkably different storms, yet so similar in the power and all, but how Helene hit the part of the country that no one expected all of that up there.
Right.
We were ready for Milton, and we were sort of prepared, but they were just caught. Well, I mean, they weren't expecting all of that rain.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, we're so blessed in Florida that we have a lot of good assets. We got a lot of practice prepping for these storms.
Yeah, we do.
You don't really think about, you know, North Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina having to deal with that kind of stuff with a hurricane. If you're not on the coast, you know, there with Carolina and Georgia. But anyways, glad to help those folks, and again, thoughts and prayers with everyone down there. We know here in Bay County how bad it was with Michael. And really feel for those people.
And so many people have been giving, and that's just so remarkable and heartwarming. And I want to give a shout out on this segment also to the power workers who restore the power. Those guys, they work hard. I remember when I got my power back after about 10 days. I remember that crew was from Key West.
Wow.
And the guy on the pole, I was talking to him. I was thanking him. We were talking about fishing and all, but I will never forget that. So when they get that power back,
it does.
Y'all know, y'all were there. So you know how special it is. So we appreciate all you guys and girls.
Yeah, those guys are awesome too. And getting power restored saves lives.
Yeah,
and they're very good at what they do. So.
It does. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with Travis. Okay, welcome back. Officer Travis Bassford, a very familiar face here on Panhandle Outdoors. He's been with us for a very long time. I always appreciate him coming on, standing in for Chris Bowley, who has been deployed. So you're out in the field day in and day out. So let's get just a field report on what you've been seeing, Travis. So.
Well, it's just been a good fall run. Me and Coach were talking in the break, and this fall, and I know we get them every fall, late September into October, that Pompano run, and it's been I guess you say a bumper crop this year. We've been seeing a lot of good, consistent catches along the beaches, and mixed in with them, you know, it's the Spanish have been there, bluefish, pompano. Seeing some slot reds brought in as well. But one thing that showed up too that we will see from time to time, seems like a little more this year, is some permit mixed in with the pompano catches. Seen several of those, and just want to remind everyone on the permit, distinct difference in the pompano and the permit. Look for the sloping, you know, anal and dorsal fin on the permit, different coloration. The younger ones will have that orange, where pompano is more yellow. But there's a different bag limit on the permit. You can only have 2, and only 1 over 22, and you've got a slot of 11 to 22. With pompano, it's still 6 and then 11 inches at the fork. So 11
inches on both of those as far as minimum.
Correct.
That solves that problem.
That's it right there. Yeah. So the minimum is the same. Just make sure you don't have more than 2 permit, and then only 1 over 22. But really a cool fish. Yeah. We see them from time to time, and they're really pretty. They've actually got, to me, a little more color to them than a pompano. And
they do.
And yeah, so guys are doing, I mean, the fish gum, the fish bites, the sand fleas, I mean, they're just really doing good with them. I mean, If I didn't have baseball every day, I would probably be out there trying to catch one. So,
Well, you've been saying a lot of them were sort of west of us now. I mean,
They
they're
did.
working their way this way.
that's right. Camp Helen, good catches out there, west end of Panama City Beach, all the way to Destin, Fort Walton. Our water right now got a little tainted with that last storm, so it's kind of got that sweet tea look to it. But if you get away from the pass enough, it kind of clears up, and they're still getting them.
And we've been talking last week how the water temperature dropped each year. This time it dropped like about 1 degree, 2 degrees. So it's 2 degrees last week. So
What are we at on water temp?
We're at 83 now.
Okay.
Right, really at 82.4. So
Yeah.
And so we really getting it was like 85 a couple weeks ago. So it's going down, and that's what we talk about it every year about the fall run. And he's seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
So what else have y'all been running into? Snapper season, though, is still going on weekends.
It is, and we've seen, I would say, a decrease in traffic. It's college football season. People have other stuff going on. They're planting food plots. There's a lot of deer seasons in the northern states and even up in Georgia that have opened. But we are still seeing some people target red snapper, triggerfish and AJ, especially on the weekends if we get the weather. I know the storms have kind of had it a little messed up lately, but I think we're going to be in a really good pattern here. October's generally dry, and then every week or two we get a cold front with a light north wind. Would be some great conditions to get out and take advantage of this fall snapper season.
You see a lot of folks on the lakes and the rivers freshwater fishing. Y'all seeing that pretty regular?
A few, yeah. Seeing some decent catches of bass, and that's about what I've heard. I would say Deer Point, Lake Seminole. Yeah, people getting out there because that water temp's going down too, and those fish are hungry. So
we just had that short duck season. How did duck season go?
we did. It was good. Saw quite a few blue-winged teal, mixed in there once teal opened up with wood duck. And it's just a great opportunity for people to get out there for that September early season. And then dove season as well was very busy.
Dove season. And now you had a chance, you took on your family farm, you took your kids fishing, dove hunting?
Yes, sir, we did.
I got a picture here you sent. Check this out.
We just
I love
love to
this
go
picture.
get them out there and let them.
It's a classic right here.
Yeah, there's Bella with a dove, and we're able to get out there and harvest a few. And then really the cool thing with the kids is, a couple days later we were able to cook them up and enjoy them. So they got to kind of get the whole experience.
Exactly.
That's out there.
That's up there in family farm up there in Jackson County.
Yes, sir. Up in Jackson, we're very blessed to have that. I was up there. My cousin's been on the show. Chuck Hatcher was up there with us. Stephen Broughton, who went to Mosley, as well. He was up there hunting with us, and then me, Nicole, and the kids. So we had a good time.
That was a good group. Good shoot.
Yes, sir.
Was they coming in pretty good? Or was it?
Pretty good. We were hunting over an old cornfield that had been harvested, but it had been harvested about a month ago.
Yeah.
So they had started picking peanuts around us, and that pulled some birds off. But we still had some to shoot and had a good time. That was the thing. The kids just have a good time getting out there,
Yeah.
And the good thing about dove hunting, because I have young kids, is like they don't have to be so still. They don't have to be so quiet. It's not too cold. I'm relating that to like a duck or deer season later in the year. So they really have a good time. It's kind of a relaxing hunt. We all got together before, grilled out, and just had some good family time up there.
That's how you do it too. Now, y'all didn't get checked by the game warden or anything, did you?
No, we didn't have the game warden come in
I was
there.
kidding. Keelan Osterbrook had a hunt this past weekend. I typed in, did y'all get checked by the game warden and all? It was always fun. That's always talking about y'all were in a cornfield, but it had been harvested about a month earlier.
Yes, sir.
That's always the question on, I've really, the last couple of years, since I've been on school board, I've been reluctant to go to some places, although it looked good. I just wanted, in fact, I've called you time to make sure it gets clear to go. And really, what's the rule on the plants, on hunting on a field?
Sure. So that's the thing. It's normal, agricultural practices that are for that region in that time of year. So something like, that was like summer corn that had been harvested. And then what you can do is, the farmer, when they get done harvesting, they'll come in there and bush hog, and then it's all gone. But whether it's a peanut field or a corn field, or if you plant stuff specifically for doves, millet, sunflower seeds, whatever, as long as it's part of normal ag practices and you don't add anything to the field. We've had questions come up, like you mentioned on the corn. If you've got a corn field, just hunt your cornfield after the farmer harvests it, or if they want to bush hog some rows. If whatever you want to do, you can manipulate that crop. But what you can't do is add stuff to it. And that's what we see people do. And the birds are in there. Sometimes they'll have a cornfield, but maybe they don't think they have enough birds, and then they'll add bird seed and they'll add rye and weed and things like that. So we've got a great resource on our website, myfwc.com, on dove hunting and dove baiting. And really it goes over what we adopt with the Migratory Bird Treaty Act and the federal code. Exposed grain that's not from that field is not allowed.
That's always been interesting. And I always brought up something important, because I always wondered if a dove would go to the cornfield first or the peanut field first.
I don't know.
And I hadn't been tested or anything, no experiments, but I've always felt whatever's been harvested recently. I mean, they see something recent, I think that's what they sort of go to that, and there's something fresh.
Sure, and then you know how birds are. They want to be around other birds. So if you got 20 or 30 going one day, the next day it could be 60 to 100.
Do y'all use decoys?
I've put a few out.
Yeah.
I know years ago we had Stan Kirkland up there on our place, and he had some decoys he made, and those birds came right into it.
I know it.
Yeah, they sure did.
Okay, we're going to take a final break, come back with some very important, interesting cases that Travis is going to share with us. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe, 9:04 to 11:04 this morning, tonight, 9:30 to 11:30. Travis has this little video he sent. He just emailed it to me. We're going to show this as we get back to the storm. Before we get the case of the month, we're going to look at a couple more storm pictures. This is a video right here. Tell us what's going on.
So this is our special operations group down in Southwest Florida. I believe this is somewhere around Pinellas County. This was the morning that Milton hit. So last Thursday, as it was coming ashore, our guys out there, and you can see the flooded water there from the surge, just going out and responding to calls, trying to help people, because not everyone left. Some people did stay, and that was from our guys down there, I believe, around Pinellas County.
One thing y'all do, we don't talk enough about this, y'all sort of stage an area. You sent a couple of pictures of the staging. Y'all just meet at this area and get all your airboats and everything together?
Yep, that's just some of the equipment. And as you can see, there's airboats, there's shallow draft vessels, a couple airboats in there, there's UTVs. I don't know if it's in there, but there are some swamp buggies that were down there. I don't know if they're in the pictures, but those little 16 to 18 foot boats, they're able to get in 4, 6, 8 inches of water and able to get into some of these places that we need to get to. And then when it gets deeper, you got the platform to go work on. So
that's cool.
And just our guys and girls down there doing a great job helping those folks.
Good deal. Okay, now let's switch real quick. Let's go to our cases. This is dove season, so I know you're going to. What's going on with the dove hunters and all that right now?
A little bit of everything. It's been really busy, and I've got some officers I want to recognize. I don't have any photos today, but I can tell you about some of the cases that were made. And I want to start off up in Washington and Holmes County. I want to recognize Eric Fowler, Johnny Touchton, Rob Hicks, and Michael Holman. That crew up there did a great job. Over the first couple weekends, I made several cases up there, and in particular, the ones what we just were talking about, taking doves over bait. And one field, they wrote, I think, 15 citations just on one field.
15 citations on one field?
Big dove hunt, yeah, and it was all baited like you wouldn't believe. So great job by those guys up there. You talked about wood duck season earlier, so we've had this for several years now, where early wood duck will open up and teal will open up, and then that's the weekend prior. Then the next weekend we've got dove, but we've got overlap. So we've had questions come out about, hey, if I can hunt ducks and dove at the same time, what do I need? So your waterfowl regulations still apply. If you're attempting to take or taking ducks, you still need to use the non-toxic shot, have your duck stamp, migratory bird. For doves, if you're just hunting doves, even if it's over water, you can use just lead. But what these guys were doing on the opening weekend of duck is they were shooting ducks, and we had one of our lieutenants actually in Walton County, Taylor Tyson, was observing them, and then they started shooting doves. Well, it wasn't dove season yet. And then they were taking the doves and throwing them in the woods, keeping the ducks. So called in Michael Graves, which is one of our K9 officers over there, brought the dog in. Dog was able to work the area and find the doves that were taken in the closed season. So
good job, Officer Tyson.
Great job by those guys over there in Walton County. Really being in the right area, watching the violation, and then using the dog and the K9 to go recover the evidence there of taking doves in the closed season. jumping back over to Bay County, I want to recognize actually Nicole Bassard. She made a over the bag limited dove case there in Bay, as well as Jared Carr, Officer John Coker, and Paul Young, another baited field there. So they wrote, I believe, 6 citations on that Sunday for dove violations. And then we had cases up in Jackson Calhoun as well. So it's a big thing for our area. A lot of people do it right. We put a lot of literature out there on how not to do it. And unfortunately, some people just violate it. But our officers are out there working hard on the weekends, working late, and we're able to make some good cases. So.
And again, you know, we as outdoorsmen, we want to make sure we understand the rules, and we do it. But that was a gray area sometimes. But you know, specifically, it's got to be regular crops.
Sure.
And nothing added. That sort of simplifies it. If you see the stuff thrown out there, then don't go.
Sure. Yep. And again, if you go to mywc.com, click on dove hunting and baiting, we've got a lot of good literature on that. You can call our office if you have any questions, because we want to help people that really want to try to do it right. And unfortunately, these people that were cited, they were definitely not doing it right. But anyways, great work by our officers. It's been really busy. We're anticipating, you know, it's going to go out here soon, phase 1, and then moving into the later phases as we get these migratories coming in. It's been a really good year for them.
It has been. People I've talked to have had some good shoots, and it's really exciting times. And the second phase, I think, is going to be even better because it'll be colder, be more migratory coming in.
Pushing them down. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, about to run out of time. One real quick thing, jump it back to fishing. Flounder season goes out October 15th.
Yes, sir. It does. It will be out, and then it'll reopen in December. We've had that closure now for a couple of years, and just make sure everyone's aware. I know people want to go gigging, and hopefully they can get a few.
Well, I guess you could go this evening, but it got to be in by midnight, right? Because it's on the 15th, so hopefully you did it over the weekend, and I'll have to wait the last minute.
That's it.
Well, Travis, we appreciate you filling in at the last minute. I know you've been super busy, not just with your job, but with parenting and all kinds of things going on, so we appreciate you coming on.
It's been a lot, but it's fun, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, good deal. And we saw your dad recently. He's doing well. He's staying busy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, y'all were at the Wild Beast Feast at Highland Park.
We had the best time, the best meal, and just a great speaker. So
that's a great event. Been going on for a long time.
Great. Okay. Now wrap it up. Thank you, buddy.
Enjoyed it, as always.
Appreciate what you do.
Yes, sir.
Y'all do something good today. If you're a fellow man, you have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.